Good day, everyone. Again, we're back for another episode of Embracing What's Possible with Roxy. And I am so happy to be here today. And I have a lovely guest. And we are going to talk about self love, self devotion. Because you know what? It's February. And the month of February is all about the heart health. And it's all about self love. And I have the lovely Morales. I hope I pronounced the names right because
You did.
sometimes with my speech, oh good, I'm two for two. And life by design, not by default. I cannot wait for her to share what she's thinking. And here's something. Why are we talking about on episodes of Embracing What's Possible and Embracing Disability on why we would be talking about self-love? If you don't care about yourself, how are we going to help others care about you and know your value and your worth? I care about me, but that's been a whole makeover in the working. So that's why these episodes are going to all be around your love for yourself, your designing your love for yourself, and that self-worth that she's going to tell us all about devotion, which I'm excited about. Welcome to the show. Introduce yourself and share. So glad you're
Oh,
here.
thank you so much, Roxy. What a beautiful introduction. I'm so happy to be here and to be talking about devotion to self, right? Because,
Mhm.
for me, it started with a cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And, what if I told you that cancer isn't the end of your story,
Oh, let's talk, girl.
but the beginning of a life reimagined? So
And
I'm
I
happy
can
to,
relate to that because they told me my life was going to be over when I hit my head and I broke everything on my face.
yeah,
They told me life was going to be over. And
yes.
so, and is it over? I now have a TV show. Come on.
I know.
I
You
know, you know?
see? And this is why it's important that we talk about the devotion to self because you and I have both overcome some
Mhm.
really serious stuff.
Crazy
And
stuff.
we had to do it mentally, physically, and spiritually,
Oh, big time.
right? And so people need to hear, what we have to say because I I like to think that we're giving people permission to be
Hmm.
yourself and
Big
love
time.
yourself no matter
Yeah.
who's telling you things, no matter what people, places, and things are not working, you deserve it, and hope is your birthright.
And this is why I call my show Embracing What's Possible because I think possibilities are endless and we have to educate that possibilities can be endless. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. I am now because of this cancer diagnosis, and I took chemo for 13 years
Oh, girl.
and celebrating 4 years in remission, but it has moved me
Yeah.
to being a certified cancer coach,
Mm,
a certified transformational nutrition coach,
mm,
a project manager, a
mm,
speaker, and author.
hmm.
And so I get to help people rebuild their energy, their clarity, their sense of self after seasons of burnout, caregiving, illness, or just everyday life.
Hmm.
And
I
it's
love
been
your passion.
Oh, I love it too. You don't know how grateful I am to be alive, living with joy in my heart, right? Not to say that
Mhm.
everything is perfect, it's
No,
not.
no.
But here is where joy comes from.
To know the happiness, to know that peace in that happiness. We're not saying that life is perfect. We're not
Right.
saying that there's not a tragedy that could happen or a
Yep.
bad day or a bad bill. We're not saying that life doesn't
Yeah.
happen. But
On the daily.
on the
Yeah.
daily, we're happier.
You and I are in sync. I love that.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's why when you asked me to be here, I
Mhm.
was like, yes, because I knew
I
there was such
know.
alignment.
And it took a while, but I'm so grateful it's happening. And it's the perfect timing for the February self love series.
I
And you're
everything
kicking it
happens
off.
in divine timing. I love that. I love
Hmm.
that. Yeah.
We're in the self love series now. And so this is important.
Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
everything that I'm teaching now is all by lived
Mm.
experience. Yeah, I got the certifications afterwards, but
Sure, of
it was
course.
all lived experience. And then I said, wait a minute, I'm not the only one going through this. Why don't I let others know what it looks like? Right? And then I started teaching it without even realizing it. And then I documented it when I figured, okay, I'll be I was listening to Source. Source told
Hmm.
me I was going to be a cancer coach. I was like, what? I'm
Hmm.
a finance project manager. What do you mean?
Hmm.
And my mind and ego said, no, 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 we're not going to do that. We're not going to be poor. What do we know about being a
Hmm.
cancer coach? And I was like, I'm the heart. The heart leads now, right? The
Right.
mind and ego are here to support and follow now for me after this cancer diagnosis. But here's the thing, it wasn't even the cancer diagnosis rocked my world, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 3-year old, a 6-year old, a marriage, a house, a great career. But the divorce while taking chemo, Roxy, that cracked me open. That did everything for me. That was sort saying, here's another opportunity to improve and refine your life and
Mm.
who you are and find your purpose.
God bless us, because I got the same message while I was in the hospital.
You see?
When I was in the hospital, I got the message that said, you better go back to who you are and realize that embracing disability is your purpose. And you need to go and do something about it and
Yeah,
educate people that the voice that you have gives value to others.
that's right. And,
And
and,
the
and here's,
empowerment that we have can give that value to others.
yeah. And here's the thing, and I know you'll agree, everyone has a good story. And when I say good story, I mean that it's good because all you have to have is one person hear that story and be moved by it and
One
then take
impact.
action,
Yeah, one
right?
impact.
All you need that make we all have that story in us.
Hmm. And I'm so grateful. Podcasts are interesting and wonderful, but I'm so grateful because, you can go back to the Roku station and then you can go back to the YouTube link and these things live on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Isn't
live
technology
on.
great?
And I'm like, yeah, everybody knows you have a podcast, but I'm a TV show host that gets to give stories to people who have had the impossible changed into possible, right? And there's only 1 to 6% of the population of disability that has TV shows.
Wow. Well, you
So
are a
I want to be a pioneer.
you are the pioneer. You're the trailblazer.
And that's why I want to have these. And then this month, we're just going to have the most incredible stories in the world around love and self-determination, because look at the power that happens. And if you are aligned with Source, look at the power that Source gives you.
Yeah.
Does it matter that I'm making limited funds right now from this?
No.
No, because of what you just said.
Yeah.
That one story, that one thing that you and I are in collaboration, that you and I are in alignment, that we both got answers from our illnesses,
Yeah.
from our something that could have been somebody else's tragedy.
Yeah.
We're making abundance out of it. And that doesn't have to
Yeah.
be financial.
Exactly. And the finances will come.
They're coming. They're upon
2026.
us.
2026 is new in numerology is the 1 year, right? This is the time that we're having new beginnings for the
Hmm.
next, I think, 9 years. and I've already seen it happening. It's already. I was trying to rest more, but no, things are happening, and you know, and I'm responding, and I'm looking at it, and now in February we're gonna go to the year of in
The
Chinese New
horse,
Year we're gonna go to the year of
the
the horse.
horse,
So we're going to be running,
and
right?
trolloping and galloping.
Yes. Whereas in the snake year, we were
We shedded.
shedding. We were shedding. We were like just ripping those layers off to be ready for what's
Hmm.
to come. And this is not just for you and me, it's for everyone in the world.
I know they're all talking about it in all the groups about the horse coming.
It's
Everybody's excited about the horse
everyone
here.
gets the opportunity to take advantage of that energy. So I implore everyone, you know, feel it, like spend some time just being and getting those messages because those messages are there. You're just too busy doing, and so you're not hearing those messages.
Stop and listen for a minute. I used to also even say, did you water the plants and did you stop to smell the roses?
Yeah,
Because if we pause just for a little while, every single one of us, I don't care if you're male, female, other, I don't care. You have an inner knowing.
yeah, yeah,
And that inner knowing is going to talk to you. And you and find a way to trust that inner knowing that it's talking to you and it's giving you messages of the grace and the
mhm,
happenings that you can have. There's no reason why you can't have these wonderful things.
yep, I
And
agree.
if you say yes to them,
Oh my God, your heart will tingle. I
it
mean,
does. It wants to dance.
I remember the first time that God hugged me. Can I tell you the story?
I have one in real life too of a God man that was in my life.
So it's 2020, it's COVID. I just moved to New York City.
Mm.
I'm a native New Yorker, by the way, so let me just say that. But
I'm
I
a
just
born New
moved.
Yorker.
Really? Ooh, we must talk more. So I moved back to New York City. I'd just gotten through a tumultuous 24-year marriage divorce.
Mhm.
Um, I got to New York. I got laid off. My job was in New York. I'm in a two-bedroom apartment with boxes that consist of 2,500 square feet of stuff because
Oh.
I lived in a big house in the
Mhm.
suburbs. And I moved to New York, and no one's happy with me. I'm taking
Mhm.
chemo, by the way. I'm on year 9 or 10. I can't remember, but
Mm.
I'm still taking chemo.
Mm.
And let me just preface by saying that I asked for a divorce because I wasn't being loved and taken care of the way I wanted to. And so I had this awakening while taking chemo that I am enough and that I
Mm.
deserve to have the life that I want. And
Mm.
so I asked for a divorce. So here I am in this apartment surrounded by all these boxes, and I go to God. Now, I grew up with no religion.
Mm.
My mother's agnostic, um, but we're Catholics by birth. And when I got the diagnosis, I was like, F you, God. How could you
Mm.
let this happen to me? I
Mhm.
went through those stages of grief. But I sat there and I asked him to love me.
Mm.
And I asked him to take care of me and
Mhm.
to protect me because everyone was mad at me. I mean, my mother, my siblings, my
Mhm.
friends, they all couldn't understand. I mean, I heard things like, who do you think you are? No one's happy in a 24-year marriage. Go have an affair. Have you lost your mind? And I'm like, I'm saying to these people, do you realize I'm taking chemo? Like, this is not just a whim, right? I'm not being taken care of, but nobody wanted to hear that. And so I asked God to help me and to love me and protect me. And He hugged me, Roxy. And matter of fact, I just touched myself and I felt His warmth again because I
Mhm.
can always bring it back, right? This is how I
Mhm.
manifest. It's feeling. I bring it back.
Mhm.
And He held me. And girl, I'm 5'7", so I'm a pretty tall woman.
Mhm.
And to me, God is like 6'3". And I just leaned in. I just leaned in and I cried on his shoulders,
Yeah,
girl, for 20 minutes at
yeah.
least. I cried and I cried because for 2 years, I was trying to get a divorce, selling my home. It was COVID. There were a lot of challenges. And I finally like released everything in that moment. And he held me. And
Mm.
I knew I was going to be okay.
Mhm.
And I said to him, thank you. You know what he
Mhm.
said to me? I've been here all along. I've
Of
been waiting for
course.
you.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you to come
Yeah.
to ask for me
Yeah.
because he's there for all of us.
Mhm. Every day, all the time.
But again, I was angry
Mhm.
because I had 4 miscarriages before my children. So I was like, and I was born into generational poverty. So I'm like, how could you let this happen? Why are these things happening to me? These challenges. So I
Mhm.
was mad at him. But ever since that moment, and that was July of 2020 in New York City, I have I am surrendering to him
Mhm.
because even when times are tough, I know he's got my back.
When
I can trust him.
when I had the accident on December 26th of 2021, I spent almost no, yeah, 2021. I spent almost half of the year in and out of hospitals that year because when I got COVID and I got the shot, something made me really sick. They said it was diverticulitis, but it made an infection in my privates and it made an infection in my in my colon. And I spent half of my year recovering from a colon surgery that probably saved my life. And
Wow.
and illness that was so unexplainable and I mean literally I had to surrender. I don't even know like what I was doing. And then maybe I didn't surrender enough because I skidded on the ice and fractured my neck and it could have broke and I've hurt my entire face. So I'm sitting. I knew I was on ice. I knew I was going to try to get out of the ice. I was working through that process. The car must have spun. I don't know. And I they kept on saying, "Be careful, it's your neck." I'm in the ambulance. Be careful, it's your neck. My clothes were all cut up. I was a bloody mess. They said I talked. I don't know. I don't remember anything until December 28th of that day. And I said, "Am I okay? Am I in the ICU?" They're like, "You're on the trauma floor and you're pretty badly injured." And I had the worst headaches that I've ever had in my lifetime. I felt nauseous. And the dizzy spells were the scariest I've
Wow.
ever felt. So, and I
Wow.
had this thing on my face that didn't fit, and was hurting my whole entire face. And I was already disabled. I already had my leg discrepancy, pelvic problems. I'm already disabled. And I remember sitting in that hospital when I woke up and I remember going, like I just was I just was like so one elated I was still alive. And then and two just confused like it are what they're saying is my life never going to be the same again.
Right.
And I remember sitting there and I heard the word I felt the hug. And I heard the word of God that you've got to go and do this work. You've got to do your purpose. And you better go do your purpose. Like go out there and do your purpose and I will love you and take care of you. And my purpose is to speak on disability education and awareness and issues and talk to amazing people and have conversations about our lives and how and I can tell you that whatever happened here when it hit here, it must have hit one of the areas of the processing disorder. My motivation and my love for the divinity is ever changed because I'm motivated and then I pray and then I want to hear and listen to God because I know God's going to take care of me and I want that for others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I heard you've got to go and do your purpose. You must work in your purpose. You can still do the hands-on work and the hands-on touching people, helping them that way, but you must do your purpose.
Amazing.
And
And here you
but I
are.
mean,
Here you
amazing here
are.
you are. Amazing that you're hugging your whole family is turning on you and you're hugging yourself in the middle of New York where you were born and God's giving life back to you.
And I had to learn how to self-love from there.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Because, it was, and this is why I say that the divorce cracked me open. So
Right?
I'm very grateful for the experience. It, you know, when we separate from someone, we're very quick to blame the other person.
Mm,
And I was blaming him for 2 years. I kept saying it was 100% his fault, his fault, his fault. But then after having that encounter with God, I had to look at it and go, what did I bring into the relationship? How did I show up for me, for him, right? Because how we show up for ourselves is how we show up for others. And so I, after doing a lot of work and really dissecting it, I started to remember, oh my God, I have so much generational trauma that I had
mhm.
totally forgotten about because I was told to, as a child, told to stop thinking about it. Now I understand why I was told to stop thinking about it, right? They didn't want me to be sad. And I'm an empath, which I didn't know then. But it didn't do me any good when I became this adult because
No,
now I was projecting my abandonment issues on everyone that I met, business, personal, including in my marriage. So I had to take some responsibility for why my relationship, my 30-year relationship, didn't work. I mean, okay, let me reframe. I celebrate the fact that I was with this person for 30 years. It's a big
mhm.
accomplishment. And the relationships changes, right? But I knew that I was no longer that person. I required more. I required more from myself,
Yeah,
devotion to self, and therefore I required more from others. And the people that I was surrounded by didn't want to give me those things because it meant that they had to look at their own selves, right? You can't give what you never received. So
right,
if you didn't receive compassion and empathy as a child, right,
right.
because you lived a hard life, well, you're going to parent that way. Not to say there wasn't love, but love looks different. And I didn't want to be loved like that anymore
Mm, hmm.
because I required more from myself means that I require more from others. So it was
Hmm.
time to leave, right? A season, a reason, a lifetime.
Oh
Not
yeah.
everyone has to be with you from birth to death. I learned that. And sometimes you have to remove people from your life, even temporarily. It doesn't have to be permanent. It could be
Yeah.
temporarily until you find, a different way of doing things. And so, you know, devotion to self for me is peace, love, and joy right here. All me. It has nothing to do with anything external. It's all me. And that means that my mind and my ego are not sabotaging my heart. My mind and
How
my
do
ego, right? When they start saying, oh, you can't do that, who do you think you are? As the heart, I go, whoa, that's not very loving.
mm,
Remember, we're here to be our best selves. So let's
mhm,
reframe, right? I'm like, remember, I'm the heart, I'm the leader now because after that cancer diagnosis, I was
mhm.
like, the heart is the leader now because I was in mind and ego all my life. And I was like, let's do things differently, right?
How can you tell somebody how to get there? How can you tell somebody to heart lead?
Like I said, God was leading me. And so I had another experience with him.
Mm,
And I'm happy to share, which is how I found my purpose, by the way. So my sister calls and she says, "Hey, would you speak to a mom whose daughter just got diagnosed with stage 4 metastasis breast cancer?"
Mm.
Her daughter's 27 years old, Roxy. 27. She's a young girl, a young woman. Mom and I speak. I let mom tell me everything she wants to say. I just let her. She's upset at the way the news was told to her. She was upset at the lack of empathy that she received from the doctors, right? She was also angry at the way some of the people in her life responded. People that she cared for didn't respond in the way that she wanted them to respond. And so she's telling me all this, and she's like, "I don't know how to help my daughter." So I tell her a little bit about my cancer diagnosis and how I'm still taking chemo. She didn't know I was still taking chemo.
Mm.
It's 2021 now, and I'm taking chemo. 2021? Oh, I'm taking chemo almost 13 years at that point. And I tell her the 7 things that I recommend she does. Now, I've never had any of this written down or documented. These were just because I was having conversations with people who, now it's COVID. People were saying, "Hey, you're the only one I know taking chemo. This person just got diagnosed. Can you speak to them?" I was like, "Okay." And so I tell her the 7 things. 1, take a breath because you're going to realize you're not breathing, right? Because you're in fight or flight. 2, get a second or third opinion because every institution treats your cancer differently.
Interesting.
3, get a mental professional to help you make that mindset shift, to help you remove fear, anxiety, anger. And then I said, get a coach, get a cancer coach. I don't know where it came from. I never heard of a cancer coach. I had never read about a cancer coach, but those words came out of my mouth, Roxy, and those were me. Those weren't my words. Those are his words. And I went, and then I said, okay, 4, start removing those processed foods from your diet and start incorporating more whole foods because food is medicine. And, spend some time in nature, take a walk, move that body, right? 6, get your tribe in order. Who's going to call and find out how you're doing? Who's going to go with you to the doctor? Who's going to get you groceries? Who's going to just say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. How you doing?" And 7, believe in something higher than yourself.
Mm.
Whatever that is for you.
Mm.
Couldn't believe those words were coming out of my mouth. And I was like, "Oh my God." So she says, she pours into me. "Oh my God, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I didn't hear that from the doctors and the nurses. I know now how to help my daughter. Thank you, thank you." And when she poured into me, my heart lit up. My heart just went, and it lit up, and my fingers tingled, and my heart tingled. And I said, "I'm going to be a cancer coach." God, did I say that? I was like, ooh, and I got scared. And so we get off the phone, and I'm in my apartment going, "What the heck? What just happened?" And my ego
Mm.
said, now remember, I'm a type A. I'm always been fight or flight. I've always been mind and ego. My ego said, "We're not going to be a cancer coach. We're not going to be poor." Limiting belief, right? We want to go back to finance. We want to make the money we used to make. We want to live in the lifestyle we live. No, 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 no. And then my mind said, "Girl, what do you know? What do you know about being a coach?" And I said, "I'm the heart." And at that moment, I was really defending myself. I was trying to be 100% feeling, right? Like with that confidence. And I said, "I'm the heart." And my heart is so happy right now. And I
Mm.
haven't been happy in a really long time. We're going to help people, and you're going to follow and you're going to support. And they went, and for 2 years, my mind and ego will get in my way, and I will go gently, because you have to speak to yourself gently. That's another way
Very
that
gently, very,
you
very
devote to
gently.
self, right? Because remember, your mind and ego are there to support you. They love
Mhm.
you, but they
Right.
remember the times that things didn't work out.
Hmm.
They remember the times you got hurt.
And they remember the times that you were shielded and guarded.
Yes.
And
And
they don't, and yeah, so.
so, you know, it was, I said, we're going to do this. We're going to help people because we are not the only ones who have gone through this. Even though I was the only one that was taking chemo for a long time that I knew of. But I had no idea. I said, I can't be the only one who's feeling this way because it's about the feeling. I said, I'm going to help people. That's what I'm going to do. That's that's when I started my devotion to self. That, and again, that was spirit. And for me, source is God. It's Mother Goddess because she plays a
Hmm.
big role.
Hmm.
It's my ancestors, my grandparents from my mom's
Hmm.
side. It's the babies that I didn't get to bring into this world. And it's my archangels. I have these archangels that
Hmm.
I am protected, I am loved, I am
Hmm.
supported. And so the message I got was, if your heart is lit up, that's what you should be doing.
Sparkle. That's why I call it the sparkle. I think, and I'm hearing source right now, that I think that when you are leading through the divinity, you're leading through God, right? It's a different kind of pathway, right? And so, you know,
Yeah.
people struggle, people don't trust, right? But if there's this God led, right, pathway, and you're listening to the heart and you're working on yourself love, you're working on these devotions, and you're asking for help and you're trusting. I used to fall all the time as a child because of my disabilities, and I always would say, well, the angels help me get up. And there was times that I would see the angels, and that was a whole other world. But the angels are always helping me get up. The angels are always helping me. Like, I know that the angels are there. And having some level of this unshakable faith, because I had the same God answer when they told me that I was going to become a healer and do the massage work, which now is like all wellness and all kinds. It's left the woo woo world and it's now all kinds of alternative medicine.
Yeah.
And I had the same thing when they're like, "Nope, you're going to massage school," and I'm like, "I'm doing what?" And all the modalities that I've been training in, like, I mean, thank God for them. Because guess what? That's how I also give self devotion to myself. I do healing on myself. I help myself get healed. I
Yeah.
work on my body. I do my practices, and then I'll ask my spirit world what's happening, right? So, like, I think when you're
Yeah.
living in God led life, heart led life, the owner of our Prospera, Elena Rodriguez, she calls it the God. She lives this God faith life with joy, with comfort, with happiness, right? But when
Yeah.
we're living these God led lives, there's this heart happy, there's this
Yeah.
opening that's different,
It is
you
different.
know I don't know what you called it, but I'm calling it the sparkle. We can
I love
wander
that.
around the sparkle, like,
I
why
may
not?
use that.
We're
Maybe you
gonna
should
sparkle.
trademark it because I love it. I think it's on point. It is a sparkle. It's this feeling. Again, for me, it was the tingling. My heart was tingling. My fingers were tingling. It was
I get it up and down my spine,
it was a
through my
feeling,
head.
and right, it's so, I mean, oh my God.
I call it God presence. I know when
It's
God is
good.
close. There's a God presence. You can feel that hug. You can feel that warmth. And things, and I guarantee if I ask you this, things are still in that moment.
Yes. Yes. So when I touch my arms and I
Mhm.
recite how he and I got re um connected, I feel it every time. And here's the thing, when I love something
Mhm.
and I'm just being and I'm thinking
Mhm.
about it and I'm feeling it, the feeling comes back.
Mhm.
So I get it when I think about my children,
Mhm.
right? I get it, for certain. I think about it when I think of myself in certain places, like a special trip, like when I went to Estonia, and I think about it, and I picture myself having these conversations with the people I just met who are just so
Mhm.
like-minded. My body feels it again, and that's how I was started to learn to self-trust because I knew that I couldn't explain what I was feeling, but I knew what I felt, and
Mhm.
that was the path I needed to go on. And that was everything for me there. I will not I would not allow my mind and my ego to get in my way, in the sense that when when I do things that are scary, like the first time I did a podcast, the first time I wrote a book, the mind and the ego play roles. They're trying to protect you, and they'll say things like, I don't know if you can do that. Who said you can do that? And sometimes I think back to the things that people have said to me, and I gently, because my ego's beautiful. She's a part of me, and she gets stuff done. Yeah, and I'm like, no, we can't do that.
Well, in disability land, prior to my traumatic brain injury, I would have this ultimate angry conversation, the fight in my brain. And whatever got tapped and healed here, still don't understand. Still processing this to this day. That fight isn't around anymore.
That's
It's
so
like,
good.
this is like, I mean, it's the strangest thing
It just
because
like,
it's the strangest thing. Like, I got whacked here
yeah.
and I don't have to have that fight and go, oh, I can't. Oh, I can't. There's no way that I'm going to be able to do that. I'm like, bring it on. Let's have a fun. Maybe we can dance around and party to it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to try. And it's weird because I'm
It's so
ready for the
good.
fight. I'm ready for the argument that no, you're not capable. No, people are going to make fun of you. No, somebody's going to beat you up. No, somebody's going to yell at you. And you're like, bring it on. Mm-mm. Bring it on. Is
I
it
know.
hard? Sure. Is it confusing? Sure. Is it exciting? Oh,
Hell yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. Does it bring me great joy? Like, I mean, I would have never have met you if I didn't say yes. Maybe would have crossed paths here and there, but we would have never had this alignment and loving conversation and know that we're in the same, pathway, right?
Yeah.
You say
Yeah.
yes
Saying yes.
and you work on what that might look like. And then whatever the path is presented. But it's so strange not to have that argument anymore.
So good. I mean, I was laughing because
Mhm.
when you started to say that, this is what I picture in my mind. I picture
Mhm.
Cher in that movie
Mm.
going, snap out of it.
Yeah.
Like when there was impact and it injured your brain, it was like your ego and your mind were hit, and they
And
and
I
you
was
and the heart said, snap
already
out
had
of
an
it.
I had an injured brain already. because there was learning disability pathways inside the brain
Yeah.
that
Beautiful.
literally didn't know how to operate and worked, and my brain was wired differently. And then it smacked it, and then my brain was like, motivation specialist, go, go, go. And I'm like, I'm going to try it.
See,
Why not?
you were meant to have that accident.
I was. Changed my entire dynamic of my life and the whole pathway of my life. I am
Yeah.
happier now. You want to know what else was weird and brought more self love and self devotion into my life?
Tell me.
A strange partner. And I've had bad men. I mean, we're talking bad men, and they've all hurt me, every one of them. And so I meet this man I met him kind of before I had the accident, but while I was in the hospital, he was very cordial and he like would check on me. So he's my now partner, very caring, eccentric as
Oh,
anything, right? But you know what he did while I was healing? I mean, he would support me, he would save me, he would pick me up off the floor all the time. He,
oh my God. What a man.
he would pick me up literally off the floor because I was falling on my neck and oh my God. And
Well,
so,
isn't that what we need? Isn't that what we
yes,
need,
I
Roxy?
had a supporter. And like he
You
still
had
does
someone to
my
support you
laundry and
who's going to
like
lift you up.
cooking. Yes. But the funny thing was, I would tell him I love him and love yourself. Love yourself. So while I'm going through this, right, this
Wow.
crazy journey of being injured, I have a male partner that's reminding me about how valuable I am.
Oh my God. Does he have a brother?
I don't, nah, he does,
Oh,
but he's eccentric. Let me just
oh
remind
no,
you, he's
I'm an
eccentric.
Aries. I love eccentric people.
He's eccentric.
But
But there's this incredibleness of reminding me that I needed to be self-devoted to myself and giving me all this space to create, to build things, to have this
beautiful.
space to devote to things that
Yeah.
I love and things that want to bring me greater joy.
Yeah. I love how, and this is what we should all look for in partners,
Mm,
having someone in your life who helps you live your best life, who helps you bring out the best version of yourself. Because isn't that what it should happen in relationships? I mean, the relationship that you're describing, I strive for that. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want someone to try to change me, right?
right.
I want someone to say, I'm here to help you be a better version of yourself. Because I know, and vice versa, right? Because it works both
Right, of
ways.
course.
I
Yes.
find that sexy. I mean,
And it's in a strange, and we're both in strange packages. And he's attractive. I mean,
and you're right, because if you're
he's
attracted
a
to him,
very handsome man. I mean, he's attractive. He
yeah.
was so attractive that I brought him to when we first started dating, I brought him to a networking thing, and the women didn't they rejected that he was my partner, that he came to help me. His sister showed up and they were like, "Oh, is that your wife? That your girlfriend?" And they're like, we're siblings." I'm like, "Ew." And I'm like, and then they were like, "Oh." And I was like, "No. He's with me." And 5 times I've had to tell them and people, "No, he's with me." Like, we are together. No, he's not single. And it's so funny because like, and he just wants to chill and relax, but like there's action steps that he does to remind you to care about yourself.
I love that.
And so what an interesting time while the brain is healing and I'm healing and I'm learning that like all of a sudden I'm going to just
Yeah.
try to throw paint on the wall every which way I can, and it might fail or it might succeed,
Mm,
and enjoy it, because who knows what could happen and who knows who I could meet. We're going to wrap up because I have a client soon and we've got to wrap up this beautiful show. I'm hoping we can have a dialogue again somewhere along the way.
Oh, yeah.
I ask everyone this, and I'm going to ask you two questions on this episode. One, if you could tell someone how to embrace what's possible for them, what would you give them about taking a possibility and making it a reality for them? What kind of advice would you give?
I would say to them that hope is your birthright,
Mhm.
every one of us. And how you start your day is the catalyst for the life you're going to lead. So make your morning practices,
Mm,
anchor with your evening practices where you get to devote to self because
mm,
you're giving all day long, whether it's to a job, a spouse, your children,
right.
parents, right? So love yourself and then love yourself some more.
Okay. I'm glad you leaded with that because I wanted to ask you a tip or two, and I think you just answered it on self love or giving that love to the self. Um, and I think you just answered that,
Yeah,
which was beautiful.
there's so many ways that I do that in the morning and in the evening.
Hmm.
I'm happy to share that another time, but
And
I
that was a
think
God talk. That was a God wink that just came out of you with that, like, because like you answered the question that I was already,
yeah, somebody
and
needed to hear
I was
it.
sparkly sending that to you.
Well, I heard the message.
You did
Yeah.
loud and clear.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to share with the audience before we go away? And we're gonna come back again someday, but we have to go away for now.
Yeah. I think I've said everything, but let me just reiterate to
Mm,
love yourself some more with serious
mm.
joy.
And laughter.
Yes. Lots of
And
it. And
laughter.
dancing.
And dancing.
Dancing. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything that brings
When
you
I do,
joy.
and someday I'm gonna do live shows and we're gonna have dance parties.
I love it.
I know
I'm there.
we're gonna have live shows with dance parties. You were a delightful guest. This was a
Thank
treasure of
you.
a conversation. It lit up my joy. It lit up my soul. We were having God talk. We were having sisterly love, and that was just a blessing. And I can't thank you enough for being here because what a delightful show. I hope you had the most enjoyable time that I did.
I did. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to
Oh,
speak right after the new moon
yeah,
and to talk about love, but most
right.
importantly, devotion to self. So thank
And
you.
I'm so excited that February is going to be that theme. Um, I am Roxy B. Rocker. This is Embracing What's Possible. And I think that, you know, I want to take you into February thinking that love is your possibility. Taking time for yourself, even if you just do a self hug to yourself, think about what that would do for you for 15 to 10 seconds, right? We had poetry, we had prayers we were going to give you, but I think that might be enough.
Yeah.
And what, Zoraida said is do a practice in the morning, do something wonderful for yourself. You're valuable, you're worth it, you're enough. And when you're thinking about what's possible, small digestible bites.
Yes. Micro
Remind
habits.
yourself that you can have a micro habit, you know, even if it's something as so simple that you want to have a cup of tea with some friends and call them. It's so simple that you want to start a dog walking community, and every single one of you in the area that has dogs can walk your dogs. When it's spring and we're out of winter and we can start planting plants, do your gardening.
Mhm.
You have something in you that you could give, that you can do, that you can make happen. And, it is always time to embrace your what's possible. And let's all go back to love. Remember, 10 to 15 seconds. It's probably going to change your life. And you're worth it. You're valuable. And you're appreciated. So joining us. Thank you for being here. I cannot wait to share with you whoever is next on Embracing What's Possible with Roxy. And in February, we have the Love Ourselves edition. and it'll be a great time because we'll be learning a lot on how to take care of ourselves. Have a great day, everybody, and I'm so excited to see you next time.
I'm embracing what's possible, heart open wide, where fear used to whisper, now love is my guide. I'm not just surviving, I'm setting the pace, wearing my story with shimmering grace. From shadows to spotlight, I rise and I sing, embracing what's possible changes everything. This is your prosperity.